Hi everybody, John Owens. Just going to talk a little bit about twice exceptional students. I know in our group presentation we had talked about talented and gifted students, and I had mentioned that we were going to do a little bit more learning on this. So this is about as good as we can do from the home version. So hopefully you can see everything. But what does twice exceptional mean to you? So it's kind of a term many of us are probably not too familiar with, and I know I wasn't until this year. So really what it is, according to the National Association for Gifted Children, is it's a gifted student with a co-occurring disability and is also gifted is the big part there. So it's gifted and they also have a disability. So here you can see that we have the Iowa Code for Giftedness and also what a disability really is on the right side. A disability could be academic, could be health, adaptive behavior, hearing, vision, could be physical. So there's a lot of different types of disability that could fall under. But really what the subgroup that we are looking at is this middle group right here. It's a pretty small group. In fact, only 2 to 5% of gifted students could have a disability, and 2 to 5% of disabled students could also be identified as gifted. So in AEA 11 did a little bit of research, and there's 140,620 students, and you can see the numbers of the IEPs at 16,701. Gifted and talented, it's about 11,143, and that's off to the side because schools identify them on their own. So if you put them together and you cover them up as the gifted and talented students would cover up the IEPs, it'd only be about 0.8% students. There's a small sliver, absolutely nobody can probably see that, but there is a little cover up, and it's 0.8%, so less than 1%. In Waukee, which is about 10,000 students, here you can see the purple is the total K through 12, and Impossible to See is the green, which is 504, and ELP, and then orange is IEP with ELP. So went ahead and made it a little bit bigger for you. You can see that there is a tiny sliver. It's blown up and you can still hardly see it. It's only 0.2% in our district. So I think that our district has a long ways to go in identifying these students. So really there's a huge gap between the ability of these students and their actual achievement. And they are really difficult to identify because of what's called masking. And that is essentially that their giftedness covers up their disability. That is one type of masking, or their disability may cover up their exceptionality abilities. So oftentimes these students are just appearing to be grade level, normal functioning students, but really, if you go back to be truly twice exceptional, their ability might be fine, but what they are doing is they're not reaching their full achievement. So how can we identify these students? Much more needs to be done than just a simple IQ test. It has been proven that achievement tests, peer evaluation, parent input, teacher observations and teacher interviews, work samples, and then aptitude and creativity tests. I think the last one, aptitude and creativity test, really show their potential and just how much more they are able to think. Some characteristics that would help identify these students. I'm not going to read all of these. Maybe you've had some of these students such as forgetful, sloppy, poor organizational skills. Maybe they don't like school. Oftentimes struggle with basic spelling and reading. Oftentimes have a lot of peer relationship problems. However, they also may possess excellent vocabularies and show extraordinary interest or talent in one particular area. So a student might, by age 8 be an expert on World War I, but has a difficult time with writing. So that would be a student that you might want to look into. And they also use highly sophisticated problem solving skills, usually quite a bit above their age level. So implications as a building administrator would definitely be to have some sort of informal collaboration between your AEA and your talented and gifted teacher. But oftentimes, your AEA personnel will help identify the students with disabilities and work with them. And, we just started this collaboration in Waukee. It just kind of happened unpurposefully, actually. And it's been a really good relationship, and I think it really helps with these students. And also with the AEA, it's important to be able to get these students their psychological needs. It's a lot of times as classroom teachers and even talented and gifted teachers might not be experts in the field to help them get the mental capacity that they need to be able to overcome these challenges. So as a building administrator, again, it's just super important to get those people involved and also to, get the families on board as well and offer them as many resources as possible. If you're a classroom teacher, and I think it's important to, as a building administrator, to get your teachers as much training as possible on this, even if it's a simple slideshow like this. But, allowing extending time for assignments and tests, providing opportunities for choice in assignments and projects, teaching goal setting from a very young age, using graphic organizers. These students are pretty scatterbrained oftentimes, and graphic organizers would really help. It's pretty common, not common anymore, but trying really to avoid that one-size-fits-all approach. Using visual charts and iPads to teach typing skills. And a big one down here is to teach social skills. As I mentioned, that these students oftentimes struggle with that. So I'm going to leave you with one final quote that I thought was really good. And I'm sure you can't read it, but it says, "Twice exceptional students who are exposed to educational environments where the focus is on talent development rather than on disability remediation demonstrate increased engagement and success in school." So really what it's saying is to focus on their talents and help them achieve, bridge that gap for really what they're capable of doing and what they are producing. Focus on that talent part of it. So thank you, and that's about it.